All right, joining me now is Brian Shallcross, general manager of the Bowie Baysox, which is the AA affiliate to the Baltimore Orioles. Brian, I want to thank you again for taking the time to talk to me on One and Dunne Radio.
It's a nice looking hat. Looking
It
good.
sure is. Got it from you guys. I appreciate you guys sending it my way. This is again a great hat, like you pointed out. Now, Brian, talk to me about your background, how you made it to being a general manager for the Bowie Baysox.
So I wanted to. It's funny. I did some internship work for the Reading Phillies at the time, Fightins right now. But I grew up around that area and did an internship with them. And there was two things I decided. I wanted to work in college athletics, and I didn't want to work in minor league baseball. And neither of those are panning out for me. But I started my athletic career in college athletics, University of Virginia. Yeah. And I transitioned into pro sports after my girlfriend broke up with me. And so I moved home and started working for a company called Comcast Spectacor, and they own the Flyers and the Sixers, and they acquired 3 minor league baseball teams, the Delmarva Shorebirds, Bowie Baysox, and Frederick Keys. And I was kind of the only one in the room with any minor league baseball experience. So I was told to pack my bags and head to Delmarva. And I didn't really even know where Salisbury, Maryland was, but I found it on a map and got in my car and drove and eventually worked my way to Bowie.
How did the Baysox name, colors, how did it all originate?
So we're a Baltimore Orioles affiliate. We did have a name the team, and the Chesapeake Bay is very, very important to this area. And so incorporating the bay into our name was a pretty important thing for us. Sure. So we are the interesting trivia. We're the longest moniker in one stadium that's active right now. So we've been the Baysox ever since we've gotten here. 1993 was our first year. We played in Memorial Stadium, which was the Orioles' old stadium. So we were the last professional baseball team to play in Memorial Stadium. Mm-hmm. And we started in 1994 where we are in Bowie. And we've been the Baysox ever since, and we've been affiliated with the Orioles ever since.
Obviously, the hat and the colors very similar to the Orioles. You don't see that in a lot of minor league teams. You see, they all have their own names, especially like Norfolk Tides, AAA affiliate. They have their own colors and names. What was the significance? Were we trying to stay similar to Baltimore? How'd that work?
Absolutely, and it's almost like the more people go different, the more we're the same in that respect. But the hat that you're wearing is very, very similar to the Orioles hat. And so it's been intentional because we have had such a long history with the Orioles and such a community tie with the Orioles. And we're also in Nationals territory as well. But it is intentional. We are proud of that affiliation and the connection with the Orioles. And listen, I've been here 20 years. It's been some dark, dark years from the Orioles baseball. And we've obviously been a good partner to Baltimore, and now that they're playing so well, it makes us feel good that we've stuck by them the whole time.
And some great players have come from Bowie. Touch on some of those players that have.
So if you think about it, right now our roster in Baltimore will have anywhere between 6 and 7 every day former Baysox players. And it's really the general manager, Mike Elias, when I first met him a few years ago, when he first started with the Orioles, he's like, you're going to be good because we're going to have lots of talent. Yeah. And that's exactly what they did. A few lean years, and you can make an argument, was that fair to fans? But now, we're being rewarded with that success up in the major leagues. And, a couple of the no-brainer prospects, Grayson Rodriguez and Adley Rutschman, are really making their mark now. But it's other players that, like I said, 6 to 7 players every night are former Baysox. So, other players that have come through here, like Manny Machado. Manny spent some time here and, of course, went to the Orioles and then was traded. But so we've had a pretty long history of solid players. But there's no more exciting time, and I've been here 20 years. This is the most excited that I think everybody's been about the farm system in general, and of course the major leagues, because our farm system has been consistently ranked in the last few years in the top 1 or 2.
And Adley's one of my favorite catchers in the game today. I think he's a phenomenal player. Now, who are some players on the team now that people should be prepared for to come up?
There's a couple of really top prospects for us: Hessen Kerstad and Cesar Prieto. Those are the two names that you're going to see making moves to AAA and eventually pushing into major leagues. And that's the thing, is like the Orioles are so young, but yet there's still these prospects pushing them from underneath. So it's a good problem to have. But those two names are really associated with the top prospects of our ball club right now. And we also acquired some players through trades that have made their mark as well.
It's a great problem to have. And so this name of the stadium that you guys play in is Prince George's Stadium, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What's an experience like for someone that's going? Because one, I looked at some photos. I obviously haven't been to Bowie. There's a beautiful backdrop looking out to the outfield. I think that's a great view. What's an experience like for fans that go to Prince George Stadium?
It's interesting you mentioned that, because years past they would have, what's your favorite minor league backdrop? And it's always skylines, and I would always submit our picture. I'm like, there you go, there's a bat, and we would never win, right? We'd never win those type of awards. But I would agree with you that a backdrop of the trees, and it symbolizes fresh air, getting out of your house and into the fresh air. This ballpark is really in the middle of some transformations. It's an old ballpark, 1994, but we have new ownership group, and they've demonstrated their desire to really change it. And we've worked with our landlord, and we're going to receive quite a bit of money from the state of Maryland to really upgrade this ballpark. But I would classify the ballpark experiences as a little bit of a carnival, a little bit of a circus, and we want to make sure that the fans are entertained. And that's nothing new to minor league baseball, but it's really a new focus for us. Sure. We understand that there's a core group of people that are diehard baseball people, and we don't want to minimize that experience. But for the fringe fans, we want to develop those kids and those families to be fans of the Orioles growing up.
Yeah, I think baseball, like minor league baseball, is a great experience. Where I live, I don't have a minor league baseball team like right next to me, but I could drive to one, but just having that team around, just something to go do for the family and friends, and go see some great prospects as well, I think is an experience that really you don't get in a lot of places. And like my example, I don't have. What's some recent promotions you guys have done and are going to do? Maybe some stuff you're going to do in the future.
So the one, I guess the new one. So every year we sit down and we brainstorm. We're like, okay, let's keep this core promotions. These are the ones that stunk. Get rid of them. And then here's the ones that it could be good if we take it to the next level and we invest in it. So we're going to have a Grateful Dead night for the second year in a row, and it was really popular. And so we're pretty excited about that. We did get permission from the Grateful Dead to do a promotion with them. And this actually, I mentioned that we're a little bit of a circus. We're actually going to have a circus night with real circus entertainers in between innings, doing acts, and so that's going to be an exciting one for us. One that we're known for that's unique to us is our Navy night, not just Navy night, but we are 10 miles away from the Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. And so every year the plebes, so plebe is a term for their freshmen. Every year the plebes come out to our ballpark. It's over 1,000 plebes. It is their first night that they get to dress in all whites. And so it's literally after the national anthem is played is the first second of freedom from what's they're called plebe summer. So they will have I Day, Initiation Day, in early June, and then all the way until August 4th in our case. It's a military training basically, and so after the national anthem is their first second of freedom. So the first thing they do is go get a hot dog and ice cream, but they got to make sure they don't get on their whites.
Right.
They'll have to figure out how to clean that night, because at 5 a.m. the next morning they're going to be running.
Jeez almighty. I could not imagine that. Community is a big thing for me, and I'm sure it's big for Bowie Baysox. So how do you guys engage with a community?
I think the most successful thing from our standpoint is school engagement. We have, let me do the math real quick. We have a reading program where roughly 60,000 kids have participated locally. And so it's a real opportunity for us to give teachers a incentive program for the kids. So we do various work with the school programs, whether it's art program, physical education, reading programs, math programs. We'll do a pie day for our middle school students where the person that lists the number of pie all the way out wins a big prize from us. So it's 3.14, blah, 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 blah. It's never ending. And these kids, I think the winner memorized 270 places of pie, which is incredible. I mean, I can't even fathom doing that.
270?
Correct. And so those are the unique programs that we do within our schools. But we also have a pretty robust nonprofit fundraising program here that's growing. Our director of marketing brought this program from another team, and so we want to make sure all the local nonprofits are getting an opportunity to utilize us because we are a public venue, utilizing us and our assets to raise funds.
That's great. I'm still getting over the 270 for pi. I'm just trying to think how far. 3.14159.
You're further than I got.
Okay, well, I don't know if I was right or not, but if I was right, I'd love to hear that. What do you think sets minor league baseball apart from major league, like for you in particular?
Well, a lot of people will say it's a price, and I don't necessarily buy that. I mean, yes, we want to be affordable family fun. Absolutely, we want to make sure that we're taken care of. But to me, it's ease of access. It's you pull right in, you pull right out. You don't have to worry about paying for parking. In our case, I know some minor league teams do charge, but it's the ease. It's the ease of getting in and out. It's the access to the players. It's the intimacy of it, and it's the carnival atmosphere. Because, like I mentioned, we're not really catering specifically to a baseball crowd. We're catering to families, and we're also, we want to be that community meeting spot. That's what we want to be. As a matter of fact, when people ask us to use the facility for various things, we say yes a lot. Mm-hmm. We don't charge rent a lot, just because we want to be known as a community asset.
Now, let's have some fun, because I like to do that on my show, to have some fun questions. Who is one former baseball player that no longer is playing, could be however long ago, that you would have loved a chance to see, but you never got a chance to see?
Never got a chance to see here or anywhere?
Chance to see live, like anywhere live, that's just a baseball player.
Roberto Clemente.
Nice. Mine is Ken Griffey Jr. I never saw him live in person, but it's obviously on TV. Build your, I don't know if you eat hamburgers or if you like burgers. Okay. Yeah. Build your perfect burger.
All right. So here's the deal. I love onions, but I can't eat them because my wife won't kiss me. And that's a true story. So I'm going to leave those out. But so you got to have your burger. A perfect burger would be, man, I don't even know if I've ever had this, but a burger, cheese, lettuce, egg, tomato. Boom.
Wow. I don't know why I was expecting more on that burger. Maybe I was expecting you to throw in the onions and just say maybe I won't see my wife that night. Now, what is a bucket list item for you?
Well, I want to go to Super Bowl. So my claim to fame is my college roommate is the head coach of the Buffalo Bills, and so I'm just waiting for him to get to the Super Bowl so I can go.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, he's been close a few times. He's just got to get there.
Yep.
Boneless wings or buffalo wings? Or sorry, bone wings or boneless wings?
Wow. Since I'm a fan of the Buffalo Bills, I'm just going to have to say regular wings.
Just regular wings. Some people consider boneless wings as chicken nuggets. So
yeah. But the key here is if you go to Buffalo and you order ranch, the record player stops. You have to have blue cheese.
Really? Wow, I've had a lot of people say ranch, but in Buffalo maybe it's different blue cheese in Buffalo or something. Okay.
That's just the way they invented them, and it's like an insult if you order ranch.
Duly noted. Okay, don't get ranch in Buffalo. Now, obviously, you live in Bowie, which is known for Four Seasons as being a northern state. What's your favorite season out of the Four Seasons?
Oh, it's fall. It's football. You know, I played football in college and just loved the tailgate. You know, when I played, I didn't tailgate. I think I had more fun tailgating. So I go to we're season ticket holders for my family is for Navy, the Navy midshipmen. So there's nothing better to me than a Saturday and you know tailgating with my friends and watching Navy football. And it's all you know Navy athletics is truly interesting. No such thing as NIL, and they're still Navy, and I think it's special. And I'm so lucky to live so close to Navy, to Annapolis, and so I would say the fall because baseball season's over, and get to watch some football.
How tough of a loss is it when you guys lose to Army?
Oh, and that's the only one. Like you could, and I went to Army Navy. And Army Navy is by far my favorite sporting event to go to. I've been to 4 games. The first game I went to was right after 9/11. Most powerful sporting experience that I've ever been a part of, and I've been a part of a lot.
Wow!
But it is to lose to Army is pretty devastating. But the great thing is they call it singing second. So the alma mater of the loser gets played first, and the alma mater of second plays last, and that's just really really cool to see. It doesn't matter what sport it is. It seriously doesn't. I've been to so many Army Navy events, and it's just so special. And I will say Navy pretty much dominates Army in the Commander's Cup. So I that's certainly something that I follow. But yeah, there's nothing like it.
That's great. I remember I had never watched an Army Navy game for like growing up, and like years ago, I told myself I'm going to sit down and watch it. And I remember people when this is probably back in like 2017, 2018, people were saying, "Oh, why? It's just triple option. It's boring." I go, "It's football and it's Army Navy. It's probably the greatest rivalry in college football." And just like what they do and they're locking arms and everything afterwards, it's an incredible scene. And I enjoyed the games. Yeah. I enjoy always watching these games. I always put it on just because of what it is. And me as a Michigan fan, I hate Ohio State. Yeah. So I'm the same way as you. I'd rather lose every game, but if I'm beating Ohio State, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather just do that. Last question. Out of all the minor league teams besides Bowie, who's your favorite mascot? Like, what's like most fun, creative mascot you like?
You know, I'm probably partial to the Reading mascot, which is Screwball.
Yep.
Because it's kind of old school and big googly eyes, and it's goofy, and it really does appeal to the young kids. It's interesting because in all these years they've added mascots instead of killing them. And so Screwball is kind of an old throwback classic that I like.
Well, Brian, thank you again for joining me. Before I let you go, where can everyone find you guys on social media, online? Yeah. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, I'm at Baysox GM on Twitter, but we've got Bowie Baysox on Twitter, Facebook as well. Check us out at baysox.com too.
Beautiful. He is Brian Shallcross, again, general manager of the AA Bowie Baysox for the Baltimore Orioles. Thanks to you again, Brian, for taking the time to talk to me on One and Dunne Radio.
That was great. Thanks, Ryan.